Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and countrymen, children of all ages, and welcome to this week's edition of Tech Tuesday. This time, well, first off, happy Halloween month, or Halloween, almost Halloween. I had it dressed up today, but I couldn't think of anything good. So who knows? Maybe you'll get a treat here in an upcoming episode if you stay tuned, so to speak. So anyway, today, here in the DeltaNet, we are going to go over how to use the page editor. And you see the same page editor for any of your custom pages as well as any of your home page. And there's a slightly different version of the same editor that works for when you make emails, like email blasts and that kind of thing. So let's go into the DeltaNet. And we'll start off, we're here on the welcome page as always. We can see that I have some unprocessed test leads, very exciting. And the first page editor, and probably the most important one since it controls your home page, can be found under Website and Overviews. And we'll scroll down here to the Paragraph About You section. So this particular editor is going to control what's actually right on your home page. And then this one below it is page 2 information. So if you have anything in here, then a next page link will show up on your home page automatically, and if somebody were to click on it, it would go to the content here. So first off, here is our editor. Now you can see there are a lot of functions here, and most of this is built to work the same way as most word processing stuff does. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this. So anything you type in here, in fact we'll align left, and this is my home page content. So anything you type here is going to show up in roughly the way that it appears in this editor on your home page. The reason I say roughly is because your home page will kind of try to keep the text format about the same and the fonts and stuff. You can override that only by specifying what font you want this to be. So if you leave it alone, it'll match what your home page is generally set to be. So everything else on your home page, for the most part, you can see these types of fonts. It'll pretty much stick with this look. But if you want, you can change that to another font. So if we say font family, and we'll go down and change that to book, and we'll make it a little bit bigger. Now we can also select, these are mainly HTML terms, so heading 1 is particularly large, heading 2. So you can choose from the different options here if you want to use that kind of text styling. So we just went ahead and aligned it left. In fact, we'll center it. Set our font, set our size, and go down here and update. And now if we refresh our home page, there it is. And we can see that it used the font we picked. If we didn't pick a font for it, then it would have just used what the home page normally uses so that everything stays looking pretty much the same. So now, if we go down to the home page, we'll go down a couple more lines. We'll align it off to the left, and we'll stick with this font for now, and we'll say this is a link to YouTube. So what we'll do here is we've typed out a sentence, and we're going to go ahead and turn this YouTube link into an actual link to YouTube. So to do that, we'll just highlight it, and we'll click up here where it says Insert Edit Link, and we set our link URL. So normally you're going to set this to go to a specific web page if you're creating a link on this, or it could even be a web page within your site. So the easiest way would generally be to copy and paste it. But we know that that's where YouTube is, so I'll just type it in. You can set a link title if you'd like. For Target, you can choose whether it's going to open in your current window, so basically it'll take over your website, or whether you want it to open in a new window. So we'll say new window, that way any user stays on our site. And insert, and we'll update again. Refresh our home page, and here we are. And if we roll over it, there's our YouTube link. We click on it, and it opens up YouTube in a new window. Now, we can also add pictures to the WYSIWYG editor. So we'll go ahead and add a picture. And in order to do that, I'll move down a couple more spaces, and I'll click up here, Insert Edit Image. And for image URL, if the image is already on the internet somewhere and you just want to use that, you can paste the URL or the address of that image here. If it's something on your computer, we'll just click on the Browse button there. Just in case you missed that, Browse button's all the way to the right of that image URL field. And we see we've got some pictures in here already, but in this case, I will upload a new one so you can see that whole process. So we'll click on Upload here at the top, choose File, and I have some files on my desktop here, probably. Open that. So there it is, upload to server. Now that image is on the server, so we'll select it here and insert. Now what it's asking here is we didn't enter an image description or a title, and we suggest that anytime you add an image to your website, you want to do that. What those are is, if you've ever heard the terms alt tag, that's pretty much what these correspond to. So the image description is actually what your alt tag would be. And it's just supposed to be a brief description of the image. This is my kid. It actually is too. I'm not even making that up. Insert. And there he is. And we'll go ahead and shrink this down so it fits on the page better. And there we are. Now if we update, go back to our home page, and there's our picture. So let's say you want to turn an image into a link. So we'll go ahead and grab that, center it for the fun of it. And just like we did with turning text into a link, in order to turn image into a link, you'll click on it, and that'll make it blue like this. That indicates that it's selected. And we'll go up here and tap on Insert Link, like we did before. In this case, we'll link it to Facebook. Why not? And update. Take a look at our home page. The picture is now centered, and if we click on it, it takes us to Facebook. All right, so we'll go back into the DeltaNet. Now the other thing we can do with this editor that's particularly handy, or that people find particularly handy, especially when it comes to creating a custom page. So if you create a custom page that's centered around a specific market, you might want to put a YouTube video that relates to that market on that page. So we'll go down here, and we'll go down a couple more lines. I took that picture, by the way. That's a pretty good picture, huh? So now we've got our cursor where we want our video to show up, and we'll click up here at the top on Insert Edit Embedded Media. And now we need the URL. So you can't upload a video like you can with a picture. What you would do is you would add your video to YouTube first, or if it's a video that's already on YouTube, you would just use the URL there. But you'll go to YouTube, you'll pick the video you want to show there. I got a bunch of goofy videos here. There we go. We'll go with this one. That's fun. These bad lip reading videos are funny. So now, here we are on the video page for the video we're going to use. And up at the top, we'll copy the URL of the page. And now go back into the DeltaNet, and we'll paste it in this file URL field. And click on Insert. And there it is. Now one thing we'll note about this, in fact I'll center this one too just to be consistent. But one thing you can note about this is that here you just see this box. So when it's selected it's blue, or if it's not selected it's yellow, but all you see is this yellow box. That's just representative of your video. The WYSIWYG editor itself, while you're in the DeltaNet, is not actually going to show you the video preview or the video itself. So now if we go down here and click Update, when we look at our home page, it will show us the video. So we'll scroll down and there it is. So right there on our home page, if you made a custom page, you would be able to add this in exactly the same way, and you would have a video that relates to whatever market that custom page is built for. All right, so the last thing of note about the editor, and like I said, all these functions up here are similar to the way they would work with a regular word processor. Like these buttons here, you can just roll over them and get a hint on each one. So this would create a bulleted list. This one creates a numbered list. So we can go down and click on Create Numbered List and type some things and type some more things. And it just builds our numbered list for us. So we'll scroll back up to the top here. Now the other thing to note, especially about the home page editor, is that we can use any of these custom variables listed down here too. So in this case, if we used Atlas Search, it would put a search function, just a little search box on our home page. It's kind of an older search box, so it's something that on the newer sites and the newer templates you might not get into so much. You'll already have a link to your Atlas Search on your page, so you might not want to worry about that. The featured home size one is pretty useful though. So what this will do is use your featured home settings and display the number of featured homes here that you choose. So we'll say we want to show 5, which is the maximum number we can show. And we'll update that. And we'll refresh our home page, and you'll see it's added a list of featured homes right here. Now this will use whatever your featured home settings are. So it'll show only your own listings by default, or you can set it to show company listings or office listings, but we can go over that in another video too. So every one of those custom variables will do something along those lines. See what other ones we have down here. You can also add your testimonials to the home page, and that one's kind of a nice one. So we'll add that in too. I just copy the code here on the left, which is our custom variable. And we'll go down here, paste it in place and update. And now we should see our testimonials on the home page too. And there they are. And it also gives the submission form that's part of your testimonials on this page. All right, so the last thing I'll show you on the editor is a more complicated prospect of it, but it might be useful to some of you. Now, these are the primary functions and most of what you'll use as far as adding pictures and adding links and things to your home page. But one thing it can do, if you know more about HTML and about coding and you really want to make something really custom and specific for your home page, if you click this HTML button up at the top, it shows you the actual source code being used on the page. So if you had, say, a widget from a third party and somebody sent you some code that you could add, a little find your home price widget to your home page, something like that, you would click on this HTML button, and then in here you would go ahead and add the code. This is some code. Now, this editor won't accept everything. So sometimes there's some JavaScript that it might strip out of there, but what it comes down to is if somebody sends you a widget and you want it to show up on your home page, this would be the first place I would try it. You can also do any kind of custom styling that you can only do through code on this. So you would just enter your code here, click update, and that puts it on your page based on however you enter the code, and you just hit update paragraph, and that shows up the same way as if you had used the editor. So there you go. All right, so that pretty much covers the HTML WYSIWYG editor. I went through all the primary functions of it, but if you have any questions about it, or you wanted to get into something more complicated, or you just wanted to call and talk, feel free to give us a call. Our number is 866-233-9833. You can also send us an email at support@deltagroup.com, or there's a way to contact us through the DeltaNet under More and Support. And then there's just a little form you can fill out to go in and send us a request if you want. So, as always, have a wonderful week, and tune in next week where we'll go over more fun and exciting prospects where you can learn everything you need to know about the DeltaNet. Thanks for joining me.